Hey guys, happy Sunday. Welcome back to Speaking360. I've been making some changes in the studio this morning. I was thinking, what should I talk to you about today? And I thought, I'll use a bit from a presentation that I've given several times over the last few days on connecting. So we're going to be talking about one aspect of connecting, one simple aspect of connecting. But I love the way that John sets this up in his book, Everyone Communicates, Few Connect, because he says, when you're talking about connecting, it's not primarily learning to become a better presenter. Now, of course, that does help you become a better presenter, because if you can connect with people, you're kind of removing the resistance and opening them up so that this channel of communication can really take place. So it does help you become a better presenter, but you're not primarily aiming at being a better presenter. That's the way I like the way that he says this. It's not primarily about becoming a better presenter. It's about becoming the kind of person that other people want to connect with. Just think about that. This is genius. So simple, but so good. It's about becoming the kind of person other people want to connect with. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about connecting from the stage or connecting over Zoom or on YouTube, Facebook Live, one-to-one or one-to-thousands. It doesn't matter. Even when you're speaking to an audience of thousands of people, you're connecting with them individually. They're thinking that you're speaking just to them. So it doesn't matter. Every different application of connecting is the same. And it's not so much something that we have to do to the audience. It's not something that we do to them. It's something that we become. It's something that we become. So we become the type of person that they would want to connect with. And remember, they retain the choice. It's up. They have that ability to say, no, I'm not going to let you in. No, I'm not going to let you in. Or they can lean in and be, somewhat predisposed to listening to your message. So it's about becoming that type of person. All right, then. So we're going to look at one teeny little aspect of this. This was the second section of the presentation. On affirming the audience. I think this is great for everyone in every application of communication because it's so simple to understand. Affirm the audience. Make the audience feel good about themselves. Treat them as if they're the most important person in the world. I think that's the way that, was it Dale Carnegie that said it that way? Treat them like they're the most important person in the world. And you'll see that people lighten up and they respond differently. John says what you need to do is put a 10 on the head of everyone you see. So see them as a 10 out of 10, not a 1 out of 10 or a 10. We jump to snap judgments very quickly sometimes, don't we, and decide what people are like. But he said, don't do that. See them as a 10. See them as the very best they can be. They have great potential to fulfill. So see them that way. See them as a 10. Put a 10 on the head of everyone that you meet, everyone you encounter, and you'll see that the world changes. And the most important person, of course, for you to do this to is put a 10 on your own head because you're full of potential as well. Me and you and all of us. I really believe that. We've got a great deal of potential. We're not even scratching the surface of what we could do if we put our minds to it. So put a 10 on our own head to expect the best from ourselves. Les Brown, who I've done a number of programs with over the years, he always says, there's greatness in you. He looks at the audience and says, there's something special about you. There's something special about you. You have greatness within you. You have greatness within you. Why? Because he wants the audience to feel good about themselves. And I think that's true. We do have greatness within them. You are amazing when you stop and think about it. You have practically, we won't say infinite potential, we'll say practically infinite potential. You can move forward in practically any direction that you want. You have access to thought, the power of thought, which is an infinite resource. So you can think an infinite number of thoughts. Maybe we'll come back to this next week because it's such a topic that fascinates me, just how much potential we have and how little we use. We'll come back to that. For today, we're talking about connecting. So making people feel good about themselves as a means to kind of connecting. Now, not doing it inauthentically. You're not telling people you can do whatever you want if you don't believe that. But I think we can move forward in whatever direction we choose, and we can keep growing. We can keep getting better until we die. So I think it's authentic to say that. Now, some of you are thinking, well, what's the point? What is the point in pretending that people are better than they are? What's the point in pretending that people can do something that they obviously can't do? Isn't that unintegrous? And what's the point of it anyway? What difference does it make? What do you hope to achieve by doing that? You're just making them feel good for no reason. Well, is it as simple as that? Is it that what we're doing, that we're fluffing people up, we're blowing hot air up their skirt, whatever the expression is, to make them feel better, but it doesn't actually change anything? Is that right? What do you think? Well, look what I'm not telling you this. So far greater brains than mine have worked on this. Look what Goethe said, the German philosopher. He said, if you see a person as they are, you only make them worse. You want to be a realist? You want to call things as you see them? You want to tell people what you actually think of them? If you see them as they are, you only make them worse. I don't think we want that, do we? Particularly if they're not the people that work for us, or they're our family or our children. In fact, anyone. What's the point in that? We don't want to make them worse. We want to make them better. How do you do that? Well, see them as they could be, and you help them to become all that they can be. Isn't that great? Don't you just love that? I think that's so good. See a person as they are, you make them worse. I'm going to be a realist. Here you are, and I see you there. And then you make them worse. But if you see them as they could be, you put a 10 on their head and make them feel good about themselves, see the very best that they can be, then you help them to become that. You help them to become that. And they're motivated by that. They'll warm to you. We all want to be around people like that, don't we? We all want to be around people that make us feel good about ourselves. So you'll find that your messages, your influence attempts are much more likely to get through if they're helpful for the audience. Now, the absolute master of this is my dog, Teddy. In fact, many dogs, and golden retrievers particularly, they are networking masters, connection masters, just so good at making people feel great. Why? Because they respond with unconditional love all the time, don't they? They're bound up to you. They're full of love. If I go out the door and come back 2 minutes later, Teddy's like full body wag, so excited to see me like he hasn't seen me for ages. I'm the most important person in the world, and I respond differently to that. So I think they're very good at that. You can kick him and go out and put him in his cage and then come, and the same response, unconditional love all the time. So that kind of greeting, treating people like they're the most important person in the world, makes a difference to us. We like to be around people like that. We want to connect with people like that. We want to let them into our life. So the golden retriever, we'll call it the Teddy the Teddy view of life, Teddy perspective on life. Whenever he meets anyone, not just me, but anyone, you're amazing. He loves everyone, runs up to everyone, rolls down at their feet, wants his belly rubbed. You're amazing. I just love life. All the time. He's so excited about everything. Every day is best day ever. Best day ever. You've probably got dogs like this as well. They're very good at that, aren't they? So this is Teddy's perspective on life. Now, let me just say, I don't want to offend anyone. I love all animals. I love all animals. But this type of approach to life is very different to this type of approach to life, isn't it? Which is different. I'm just kidding. Don't hate me. Don't. Is there any cat lovers out there? Put it in the comments if there's any cat lovers out there. I do love cats, but they do have a different personality, don't they? The dog comes bounding up and is like, "Oh my goodness, you're wonderful, so great to see you," and the cat just kind of glances over, then turns around and walks off. And even though it's walking on the floor, it still manages to look down on you. They different personalities. I know whenever I share this with people, say my cat's not very friendly actually. So if you have a friendly cat, put it in the chat, let us know and prove me wrong. But you know what I mean. I'm making fun of it because it's easy to remember. So the way we treat people changes the way they treat us. That's the principle, isn't it? And as a communicator, if you want to lay the foundations for influence, connecting is key. Connecting is key. It's one of the primary foundations of influence. So getting people to open up is important. Another aspect of this, just real quick before we wrap up, John says, I never ask a question the audience doesn't know the answer to. This is very clever. Why would he say that? I never ask the audience a question they don't know the answer to. You know how, and I've done this so many times, I'm so embarrassed when I kind of look back at some of the things I said on stage and think about, learning from John. I've done this so many times where you're asking a question and it's like, has anyone read or does anyone, and the likelihood of them having read this obscure whatever it is unlikely. And so there's a feeling of superiority that you're better read. Or does anyone know the answer to this? No one? Am I the only one that knows this? There's a feeling of superiority. You're trying to impress the audience. You don't want to impress the audience. You're trying to connect with them, not impress with them. So this is great. Not asking a question they don't know the answer to, because you don't want them feeling stupid. You want them feeling good about themselves. It's not about how you feel, remember. In fact, it's not about you at all. It's all about the audience. That's why we called this what we called this series of videos, whatever it's called, this channel, Speaking 360, because we want it to be all around the audience centric, not about the message, or even worse, the speaker. We don't want it to be about us. It's not about us. It's never about us. It's always about the audience. So it's never about you as the communicator. You're trying to communicate with them. Why? Just think about this. Last thing I say, and then I'm going to finish. Okay. Last thing I'm going to say on this. Why is it not about us as the speaker? Why is it all about the audience? Just think about that for a second. Well, it's obvious when you say it, but the trouble is we often don't think of these things. But it's all about the audience, because they're the ones that decide how we did. When we finished, it doesn't matter whether you're speaking one-to-one or one to a small group or one to a large group. When you finished, they're the ones that are going to decide how well you did. Did you make an impact? Did you leave a lasting impression with them? Did you add value to them? Did you say something useful? They're the ones that decide that, not you, the speaker. It's no good you saying, I feel really good about that, and no one took any notes, didn't help anyone. Half the people didn't come back in the break. It doesn't matter how you feel. It's about the audience. And is your message, is your attempt at adding value getting through? Simple, isn't it? I just love that approach to speaking. Okay, that's it for this week. We'd love it if you like the video. If you haven't done already, put the comments up and let me know. If you're a cat lover, you're a dog lover, if it's okay for me to say this, or if you take offense, let me know, and I can always change. I can get better. We'd love it if you subscribe to the channel as well. And if you want to share the email that goes out every Sunday, the address to sign up for that is speaking360.com. We don't blitz you with sales emails. We just send you a video on Sunday. We send you an email with a link to the video, let you know it's coming, in any other videos as well. That's it for this week. Thanks for stopping by. It sounds like Anchorman, doesn't it? I'll see you next week. Take care, guys. Lots of love. Bye-bye. God bless.